Hello, crafty friends, it's Anna here with another process video. This time I have for you whimsical fall page with mushrooms, and I will be working with new products from Bramble Fox. This is the design team I just joined, and they are selling those acrylic titles and elements called perspectives. You can buy a subscription. Each month you will get a curated set, and this is the set for October that I'm just showing you. In each set you will get a lot of those perspectives, one cut apart sheet and one stencil, plus inspiration to go with it. And today I will work with this October Fox box elements and a super fun cut file. This is called So Mushroom in My Heart. I will not be using the whole cut file. I just cut it out the mushrooms and one part of the title, and I also didn't cut out the outlines. I only cut out the feeling because the cut files they are selling are super fun and super useful. You don't only get the outlines, you also get elements that go inside. So filling the cut files, it's so easy with their files. And I chose some pattern papers from those scrapbook.com paper pads with solid cardstock to cut out not only the mushrooms but also the title. And it's the first time in many years that I reached for some older stash of mine, because for the first time when I'm creating for design team, I don't have to use specific collection. I have to use a specific perspective, but I don't have to use anything else. Is something that I can choose by my own. And it took me a while to gather the elements. I don't know, I felt lost without the whole collection on my desk, so my brain got lazy. And I chose one of those red and white papers from very old Mintai Papers Farmlight collection, and I found this brown paper from My Mind's Eye. I don't think they are making papers anymore. Uh, so this is like, the vintage piece. And I will be combining them together, creating a red frame around the brown wooden pattern. And the pattern I chose is whimsical. I had a lot of like real life wooden patterns, but because of my mushrooms being so whimsical and cartoon-like, I decided that this will be a better combination. The cardstock scrapbook.com sells in their pads. It has a white core, which sometimes is good, sometimes it's not. But what I like to do with it is to use a piece of sandpaper to sand away some of the color from the top and reveal the white inside. It it gives extra texture to any of those elements. And I also have dots for my toadstools, but I didn't kind of press them out. I was going to be lazy and put them on top of the mushroom like this, and then I will just rotate it and push it away, which wasn't that a good idea because I didn't center the dots well. You'll see later when I remove this piece of paper, but they are also part of the cut file, and they are like separate element. You have to cut out them in like different color. Okay, so I'm adding the dots to another toadstool, and when those are kind of a dry-ish, I'm pressing them out. I used thicker paper here and didn't change settings of my Silhouette Cameo, so they are not cut out perfectly, which is not a good thing because you will get those hairy uh, halo around each circle. Not each, but many circles. But I decided to leave it like this because mushrooms are not perfect. So here is the problem that I noticed that I had to kind of, I was supposed to add those dots to the top of the mushroom, not in the middle of the mushroom. So yeah, it was not a good idea to be lazy, but I will fix it by adding extra freckles dots on top, just cutting out them with scissors. My silhouette cameo was a little bit neglected for a while because some time ago my computer crashed and I lost all the files that were in it. Some of them I managed to salvage because photos are just keep in the separate hard drive. But all the cut files that I gathered throughout the years, they were gone. So I only had an access to the ones that I purchased through Silhouette Design Store, but all the rest just poof, gone. So I was just kind of offended by this fact, and I decided, like, I forgot about Cameo for a while, but then um, I was like, I have this equipment. I was not using it. It's just staying here dusty. Let's see if it's working. Because it's like an old machine. It has probably 12 years already, or even more. Maybe 12 not, but yeah, maybe 12. I wasn't sure if it's still working, but it's working like a charm. So I used it for the once, and then kind of my mind unlocked. I found some free cut files. If you are looking for a source or super fun free cut files, check the Paper Issues website. They have tons of free cut files, so many themes, topics, and this is my aesthetics. Now that I joined the Bramble Fox design team, I discovered their cut files, and they are like another level because you have all the elements ready to go. So you can cut out outlines, you can cut out fillings, and the designs are also super fun and very inspiring. And I already have ideas for a few of them, so I will be back with more cut files designs. For sure. And here is the part when I'm fixing my mushroom dots. I'm just cutting out few extra with the scissors. They don't have to be round. They are not round in the original version. I'm just cutting out some random dots and I will glue them on top of the ones that I already have here. So it will not look so empty on the top. And in the original design, the dots should go to the very top of the hat of the mushroom. So this is me fixing my previous laziness. So as you can see, all the elements of the mushrooms are separate, and I want to pack them with some foam, so I need to make them thicker and kind of one element things. So I'm just using some spare paper. It doesn't matter what color it is because it won't be visible at all. And I'm arranging the mushrooms just like they should be, and I'm cutting out the outlines. So I will have one solid mushroom, and I will not have to kind of work with separate pieces when I will be gluing them to the background. You can skip this step, although I think it will be easier to do it this way than play with separate parts. Plus, for the smaller mushroom, you can see the part of the under hat here, and as the mushrooms have, not the mushrooms, the toadstools, toadstools have those, I don't know how to call them, but those lines underneath, I will add those lines too using the stitching machine. So I will just add extra texture. You can make like a hand stitches, or you can just draw them with white pen. All of my white pens are dead, so I just do not have the white pen to sketch them. So I will use the stitching machine, because for the hand stitching I'm also too lazy. And here putting the mushroom together comes very handy because the paper is thicker and easier to stitch on the sewing machine. I must admit that recording the voiceover for this video is like a nightmare, because every time I push the button to record, something is happening. And someone is ringing at the door. My husband is asking me something. My dog is a constant pain in the ass. He's tapping with these nails. He's with his claws. He's wanting something, and sorry. It may sound chaotic, and it probably is because I just keep forgetting what I was talking about. So let's go back to making a project. This is the skipping part where I use my sewing machine and I sew around the background. So I added the zigzag stitch around the brown paper. And I also added those marks beneath the head of the mushroom of the smaller toadstool, and I'm just gluing everything down, adding a layer of the cardboard. If you watch my videos, you know I like using this white cardboard to add dimension to my projects because it's cheaper, faster, and I use a lot of foam tape. And if I would use it anytime and when I'm adding the dimension, I would have to have my own factory. So I have the mushrooms glued down, and now I'm adding the grass. It's also a part of the cut file. You can use your scissors to cut all those elements. Well, the mushrooms are quite simple. The grass is simple, but using cut file is for sure much, much faster and more efficient. But this is something I would totally be able to just sketch and cut with my own scissors. I have two pictures taken during my mushroom picking safari. When I was a kid, we were spending summers at the countryside, visiting my grandma's. This is where my mother lives now. And I was going for mushroom picking all the late summer and early fall with my grandma and grandpa and all the family. And this is something I love doing even now when they are gone. We just go with my mother. It's like a 4 hours walk around the forest. We have a great forest there. When it's a season for mushrooms, you can find all sorts of great mushrooms. But on this particular one, I wasn't focusing on searching for them and picking them to eat them later. I was more focused on finding super fun and unique mushrooms to take pictures and some videos. And I have many pictures from that day, and I will for sure make a mini album with mushroom photos. But I just picked two of my favorite mushrooms to scrapbook this page. Those that I have on the pictures are the ones that are best for all the eating. But the part is that I don't like mushrooms. I don't eat them. So I'm just a great person to go mushroom picking with, because I will find a lot of mushrooms and I will give them away. So you can take my mushrooms. I am just there for the thrill of searching, not for the eating part. Now it's time to glue down part of the title. It's a mushroom word, and I glued together two layers of paper. One is this gingham pattern, and the second is solid yellow. And I moved the bottom part a little bit to create kind of a yellowish, mustard yellow shadow. So it makes the letters pop more from the background. And this is a great trick for any letter if you have a busy background or you want them to pop more. I am using this Autumn Stories perspective. I don't know if it's singular or plural. I usually call them acrylic cutouts. They are cut with the laser, So I'm just using the autumn stories under the pictures, and I also picked those two acrylic mushrooms. One is reddish, one is more brown, and I'm creating the second part of the title, which is mushroom and picking. The word picking is spelled with some older Cocoa Vanilla Studio alphabet. Sorry, my head is somewhere. It's not in here, and I have problems speaking, so I'm mumbling a little bit. The fun part of making this page is that I reached for some very old stuff. The one I am using right now, I would want to say it's a Pebbles, and I think it's a Pebbles, but this one may be Simple Stories. I don't even have like an original packaging. I think it's Simple Stories, but I will also use some Pebbles later. So it's a mix of things I'm sure you cannot purchase anymore, but it's super fun to use up your stash. And this is the perspective, not perspective snips that it's attached to October Fox box. And I picked a few leaves to cut them out. This is the sheet you have to cut out. You don't get like pre-cutted elements. It's all for your hands. So I'm just picking few leaves and I'm going to tag them behind the pictures. And when I was creating this page, I didn't know what I will do next. Well, I knew I will have the mushrooms, I knew I will have the title, and I knew the pictures I'm going to use and the perspectives. But the rest was a total surprise for me. I was just following with the ideas that I need something here, going through the stash, and this is the biggest surprise for me, the flowers that I found. And those are, I'm pretty sure, some old Pebbles collection. It was the one with gnomes, and I'm not even sure if it wasn't for the gardening and spring, but the colors are very warm and not pastel at all, and I decided to use them for this page because mushrooms grow in between the grass and there can be flowers. They are scaled in a nice way. So I'm just playing, going through the supply and gluing them down. Even the colors match perfectly. So I'm just filling the space with those flowers. If you don't have this particular collection, which I'm pretty sure you don't have, because it's like, I would say 10 years old, maybe, you can just choose whatever you have. You can cut flowers with dies. You can cut flowers with your die cutting machine. If you have good cut files here, you can make this page almost 100% Silhouette Cameo based. And I added another mushroom on top from the perspectives. I think I'm pronouncing it well, but I'm not sure. The acrylic mushroom is there. I will, of course, leave you the links to the products I use, but I don't think you can purchase elements from the Fox box if you are not a subscriber. So those you can only get those autumn stories if you are a subscriber to the kit, I think. I'm not long enough in the team to know this for sure, but when I tried to find those on the website, I couldn't because there is only a subscription option for the Foxbox. But you can purchase some other extra elements because they also release like separate elements different that in a Foxbox, but you can still find a lot of fantastic perspectives on their website. And I think you can purchase those snips for a die cut, for fussy cutting too. I went through those strips of words and I picked two words to embellish my page. I don't remember what's written in there, but I think this is something autumnal. And I'm also cutting out few extra leaves for the flowers that are on the top because I needed something green up there. And all the leaves that I had were quite big, so I choose this branch of smaller leaves and I'm cutting out the white outline because it doesn't correspond with the rest of the page where all the elements are just colorful without the white offset. I'm almost done with this page. I just go through the elements, but I'm not sure what I will be adding next. Yeah, some leaves, but the page is almost done, and I'm really happy how it turned out. It was chaotic, just like this voiceover recording, and it was refreshing for my brain, I would say, where I didn't have the ready-to-go combination of products that I have to go through the stash, find and mix elements, which is like a great brain gymnastics. Creativity is something that you can exercise, and it was a great exercise for my creativity. I'm finishing the page adding cute little hearts from one of the Coca Vanilla Studio stickers, and here is the finished layout. I hope you like it. I hope you feel inspired. I will leave you the links for the cut files and for the Bramble Fox in the description box. This is something new for me. I have never worked with products like this, and I feel like I really, really, really like this. This type of creating. Here are some other videos you might like. Thank you so much for staying with me, and see you soon on some other video. Bye!